I told myself this wasn't about escape. I wasn't running. I wasn't hiding. I had signed the divorce papers. I had boxed the last of my things. I had closed the laptop on a job that never wanted me long-term anyway. The cabin was just a place to breathe. Reset. Reset is a cleaner word than admit. The place was old but functional. One floor, one bedroom, a wood stove that took 20 minutes to remember it had a purpose. The cold here wasn't the sharp kind I knew from childhood, not the bite of wind against skin. It was slower, heavier, the kind of cold that sinks into your joints and stays there like a question no one answers. The locals in town had been polite, tight-lipped but polite. A man at the gas station said, "Hope you like silence. You'll get a lot of it up there." I remember thinking, I want silence. I thought that on day 1. On day 3, I changed my mind. It started with the noises at night. Soft at first, creaks in the floorboards, no big deal. The cabin was old, but by the 5th night, I began to notice a pattern. Every time I lay down to sleep, I would hear 3 slow steps outside. Then nothing, always 3, like something stepping forward and stopping, as if waiting for permission. I got up the next morning and checked for tracks in the snow. None. I told myself it was nothing. Just my mind replaying stress as sound. On the 7th night, I left the porch light on. The steps didn't come. But the next morning, my firewood stack was knocked over, not scattered, just pushed, like someone testing the weight of things. I didn't feel scared then, just cold. So cold my teeth ached. I wrapped myself tighter and stared at the trees. They didn't move. No birds, no wind, just trees, standing there, watching. It wasn't until day 10 that I saw it. Just a flicker, far between the trunks. A shape, long, thin, wrong, gone in less than a breath. I waited 2 hours by the window. Nothing. And then, just before dusk, I heard the sound again. 3 steps. This time closer. This time, it wasn't snow crunching. It was wood. Inside the cabin. I didn't move. I told myself it could have been the stove settling, or the old frame of the cabin creaking as it adjusted to the frost. But the sound hadn't come from the corners or the ceiling. It had come from the hall, from the 3 loose boards I had stepped on earlier that morning. I waited another 20 seconds, 30, maybe more. I held my breath, then I called out, soft but firm, "Is someone there?" Nothing, just the faint whistle of wind threading through the chimney. Still, I didn't go back to bed. I sat in the chair near the fire and let the wood burn too low, refusing to turn my back on the hallway. At 4:12 a.m., the silence snapped again. This time, it was the bathroom door, one short creak, then a soft click. I hadn't closed that door. I didn't close it in the daytime because the window stuck and made the whole room smell of old damp. I stood, moved slow, grabbed the iron poker from the stove and held it tight in both hands, even though my arms were trembling. I reached the bathroom and stared. The door was closed, completely. No light beneath it. I didn't open it. I turned back down the hall. My reflection caught in the window. Or I thought it was my reflection. But it didn't move with me. It stood there a moment longer, then faded. My skin prickled. I slept in the chair, or rather, I let myself shut down for an hour or two, body too tired to argue with the fear. In the morning, nothing seemed out of place until I went to the pantry. My food was still there, but 3 cans had been moved. Not taken, not opened, just set in a line at the front of the shelf, like someone wanted me to notice. That night, I didn't light a fire. I didn't make tea. I sat in the corner near the back door, holding the poker, waiting. Nothing came until I thought about leaving. I thought about my car, parked 100 feet from the cabin. I thought about the key in the drawer. And the moment that thought crystallized into intention, I heard it again. The 3 steps, only this time they didn't stop. They came closer, past the front door, past the bedroom, right to the edge of the kitchen tile. I stood up, held my breath, and in that moment, I swear, I heard a breath that wasn't mine. Shaky, hollow, not near, inside, like it came from my own chest, but out of rhythm with my lungs. And then a whisper, not in my ear, behind my eyes, 3 words, soft, familiar. You took it. I didn't sleep the next night. Not even in the chair. I watched the shadows lengthen across the walls and waited for the sound. But it didn't come. Not the footsteps. Not the breath. Just silence. That kind of silence that makes you feel like your own heartbeat is too loud. Like every blink echoes off the floorboards. I found myself checking things. Again and again. The kitchen drawer. The pantry cans. The back door lock. I would place the fire poker beside the door and then come back 10 minutes later to find it leaned differently. Not dropped, not moved far, just tilted, like something had picked it up, measured the weight, and politely put it back as if to say, "This won't help." The whisper never returned, but the message stayed. You took it. It haunted me. What did I take? What did I disturb? I tried to retrace my steps. Did I take something from the woods? A stone. A piece of bone I thought was just driftwood. I began to dream while awake. I would stare at the window and see things that weren't there. A handprint in the condensation that faded before I could blink. A shadow stretched too long for the frame. Once, I swear I saw my own face outside, but it didn't look at me. It looked past me, into the cabin, at something standing behind me. I didn't turn. I couldn't. The air grew colder each night, colder inside than out. My breath fogged indoors now. The fire no longer caught easily, as if the logs were too damp, though they were dry when I stacked them. I found feathers by the windowsill. Not bird feathers, something larger. Black, brittle, and curved. I never saw a bird fly that high. On the 10th day, the power flickered. Just once. Then again. Then the lights died completely. I lit a lantern, the last one I had, and stayed in the kitchen. At midnight, the footsteps didn't come, but something knocked. Once, not at the door, at the wall, the inner wall, the one between the bedroom and the pantry. I pressed my ear to it. I heard breathing, labored, wet, like something inhaling through teeth too sharp. And then a crunch, like something chewing, slow, thick, reluctant, like it didn't want to eat, but had to. The next morning, I found claw marks in the pantry wall, deep, curved, 3 slashes, all vertical, as if something had reached out, not to hurt, but to remind. I packed my bags. I told myself I'd leave that night. But as the sun dipped, I found myself unable. Not afraid, not quite, just tethered, like something in the bones of the house held me by the spine. And I heard it again. Not in my ears, in the walls, in the stove, in the trembling air between floorboards. That same whisper. But this time, not accusing, not angry, just sad. You broke the pact.